So is this really true? Are YouTube not going to pay you for running ads on your content? Well, in this video, we're going to explore all of the concerns you have about YouTube's monetization update. Let's do this. Let's very quickly recap the update before we jump into the questions, and in case you've been living under a rock for the last 2 weeks. YouTube announced at the end of November 2020 that they may start monetizing your content even if you are not in the YouTube Partner Program, and you as a content creator wouldn't earn any of the revenue share from those adverts. For example, let's say you have 500 subscribers, so you're not eligible for the YouTube Partner Program, and one of your videos goes viral and gets 100,000 views. YouTube could place adverts on that video and earn 100% of the revenue share. Now, those are the very basics, and I'm going to answer some of the very general questions here, but if you have further questions about this, do post them in the comments below and I may do a follow-up video. To officially start monetizing on YouTube, you need to be part of the YouTube Partner Program. And there are requirements for that program, those being 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time over the last 12 months. And those requirements have been in effect now for, blimey, almost 3 years. So with that being said, if YouTube starts monetizing your content without your permission, does that mean you're automatically in the YouTube Partner Program? Or does it make it harder to get into the YouTube Partner Program because YouTube want to monetize all of your content and take 100% of the revenue? The answer to all of these questions is no. The requirements haven't changed. For you to start earning revenue from your content through adverts, you need 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 hours of watch time, and apply and be accepted into the YouTube Partner Program. The big change now is that before you reach those requirements, YouTube has the right to place adverts on your videos because you agree to that in the terms of service. But all of this doesn't make it any harder or any easier to get into the YouTube Partner Program. Now, you can take the instinctively negative opinion of this in that YouTube is profiting from you and your content, or you can look at it from the positive point of view. If YouTube is willing to put adverts on your content before you're even in the YouTube Partner Program, that's a good indication that YouTube wants to do more business with you in terms of ad revenue in the future. And if YouTube is already monetizing your content, it's likely not long before you meet the requirements and can enter the YouTube Partner Program and start to share that revenue. Now, this is an interesting question that I don't think we'll ever get a definitive answer to unless YouTube release some numbers on this in the future. YouTube have said that from November the 18th, they are slowly rolling this out over a small number of videos and a limited number of ads. And I also decided to do a little research myself. I asked creators who weren't yet in the YouTube Partner Program and not monetized how many total views they had on their channel, and more than 70% said less than 10,000 views. This is only speculation, but I don't think YouTube or its advertisers want to risk putting adverts on videos and channels with so few views. It feels like a risk not worth taking when there's so little data about the channels and their content. My second question asked, had people seen adverts on channels they knew not to be in the YouTube Partner Program? And according to this, not many have. And the thing we don't know about these numbers is how many of those adverts on videos were due to copyright claims. I personally have yet to see any videos that have adverts on them that are obviously from channels that aren't in the YouTube Partner Program. If you have seen any and you don't think it's through copyright rules or anything else, you know it's an advert that wouldn't usually be there but now is, do let me know in the comments below because I would love to investigate. So to close this question off, it's a very tiny amount of videos with adverts. If YouTube is going to start monetizing the content from creators who can't yet monetize their own content, the next logical step is to go through all of those videos that YouTube has demonetized from creators and monetize it themselves, right? No, it doesn't work like that. Put simply, demonetized videos are demonetized for a reason. They don't follow YouTube's own advertiser-friendly guidelines. So for YouTube to start monetizing those demonetized videos, they would be breaking their own rules. Let me put it this way, if YouTube start monetizing demonetized videos, that's Avengers Infinity Wars territory. All right, let's say YouTube starts to monetize your content now, and you're working towards monetization yourself and you reach those requirements in February next year, apply for the partner program and get accepted, does that mean you're due 3 months worth of back pay from all of the revenue YouTube has already collected on monetizing your content? Again, the simple and unfortunate answer is no. YouTube is taking 100% of a revenue share and you will never get a penny of that until you're in the YouTube partner program. You see, the thing is, when you do apply for the YouTube partner program, you have to make new agreements with YouTube as well as setting up and connecting an AdSense account. And for some of you, you need a legal parent or guardian to help you go through all of this. So before any of that happens, YouTube is earning a revenue without necessarily ensuring that you are going to be able to earn money from your content. This is one of those occasions where you have to accept that you are on rented ground and YouTube can change the rules whenever they want and you have to accept them. Let me put it to you like this. If YouTube had always done this, since the dawn of time, when you start a YouTube channel, they monetize your content until you entered the YouTube partner program. Would that have stopped you starting a YouTube channel? I think the answer for most of you is no. The problem here is the genie is already out of the bottle. You could, in the past, create content on YouTube for free and YouTube couldn't profit from it. Now those conditions have changed and you have to roll with the punches. It's effectively cost of business. I know, it's not ideal, but there's nothing we can do about it. If you want to argue with me, you certainly can do. I can't change this, so we're at an impasse. Ultimately, YouTube monetizing content that wasn't monetized in the past doesn't really affect anybody too much because you were earning the money anyway. YouTube is kind of profiting from it. However, if this starts to affect channels that are already monetized, then it can get quite messy. The simple concept here is supply and demand. If there is more inventory available for advertisers to place their adverts on, they have more choice, it means that instead of picking a channel that is monetized, they may decide to advertise on a channel that isn't monetized and YouTube gets all of the profit while that channel missed out. And that is potentially true. Is that going to happen? It's impossible right now to say yes or no. However, if this does start to impact existing creators' revenue bottom line, you're going to hear about it very soon and it's going to kick up a huge stink. I also have another question for all of us here. What type of adverts do you think may appear on these channels that aren't yet monetized? What YouTube could actually do is put lots of Google ads on all of those videos. And so they're all part of the same company. Is there necessarily money going around the system here, or are YouTube just using all of this free advertising space to promote their own products? I know I'm explaining that in a very basic way, and I'm sure it's more complicated than that, but it's just a thought. There is a big and legitimate concern about adverts and where they're going to be placed on people's videos for both creators who aren't monetized and those who are. Let's look at the non-monetized channels first. What happens if YouTube add mid-rolls to your video? It potentially destroys the experience of that content, especially for ASMR, relaxation, music, that type of stuff. Now, of course, that is certainly possible, but is it likely? Let me give you an example. There are two types of pre-roll ads on this video. I have spoken directly to the creator of this channel, and I can confirm that they are not part of the YouTube partner program. However, what I can also confirm is that this video has been copyright claimed. So this has nothing to do with the new YouTube monetization policies, but the creator does find themselves in the same situation. Adverts on a video they cannot control. And while there are pre-roll ads and a display ad, over the course of a 30-minute video, there are no mid-roll ads. Admittedly, this is a sample size of one video, but when it comes to YouTube placing ads on your behalf, do they do the wise thing and avoid placing ads in the middle of videos? Some clarification would be helpful here from YouTube. Now then, what about monetized channels? Anyone that's in the YouTube partner program has complete control over which videos they monetize, what type of ads they have on those videos, and where they go. So if we as a monetized channel decide to turn off monetization on our videos, and then YouTube decides to monetize them anyway, they'll have me to answer to. Now, in this instance, with this change to the monetization policies, it shouldn't impact the ad revenue monetized channels receive. However, it does reinforce how unreliable ad revenue is as a source of income for your channel. When it comes to ad revenue, the advertisers and YouTube between them control 99% of that mechanism and how it pays out to you. Now, don't get me wrong, monetizing your channel and earning ad revenue is sweet. But this is where you have to put on your business hat and realize the other potential income revenue stream. Selling your own products and services, brand deals, sponsorships, merchandise, all of the things that you have a lot more control over. And this is for everybody, including those not yet monetized. It is in YouTube's best interest to get you into the YouTube Partner Program because there are more ways to earn money on YouTube than just ad revenue. Once you're in the YouTube Partner Program, you can earn money from super chats, memberships, and that applaud button if YouTube ever decide to turn it on. Now, yes, YouTube will earn more money from 100% of the ad revenue on smaller channels, but I bet you they make a lot more from the cut from super chats, memberships, and all of those other revenue sharing schemes for channels that are in the YouTube Partner Program and have grown to millions of subscribers. That's ultimately where YouTube wants to get you. And we want you to stay on YouTube because we just like to have friends to talk to.